Welcome to the stream, everybody. It is Monday, July 27th, and it is 6 p.m., and we are getting close to our very first top 8 match of the Derby. We will be having Angelo, Russo, and Mike VanDyke playing in this matchup here. And in just a moment, we will be bringing you back to the players, and they'll talk a little bit about themselves, a little bit about their decks, and a little bit about the clubs that they play with. So just one quick thing, just to remind everybody that my regularly scheduled stream is on Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern. So please make sure I would appreciate it if you follow, set up notifications so that you know when I go live. I play 3 rounds of Magic every Tuesday night as part of the Northern Paladins Tuesday Night Gauntlet. And then as well as a special stream this upcoming weekend for MobsterCom. It is at 10 a.m. Eastern. It'll probably be 6 rounds, 7 rounds-ish. There's 60 some odd players right now. You play 3 different decks chosen at random, which deck you play for each round. So we are going to go into the room, and we are going to talk to the players. Okay, how you guys doing?
Excellent.
All right. Good. All right. So on the left we have Angelo, and on the right we have Mike. Angelo is playing a Shops deck. I'm putting that up on the screen. So Angelo, why don't you tell us a little bit about you, about your deck, and about the club that you play for?
Sure, for sure. Hey, everybody. My name's Angelo Russo. Everybody knows me by Angelo. I'm with the Northern Paladins out in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the greater metro area. Of course, we have people who are part of our club from all over the world. A lot of wonderful guys and girls in this group. I'm playing workshops, like Rich said. It's my 14th iteration. I have been working on kind of, iterating through the different variances that you can with this deck, and settled on one that has kind of a control base, which you can kind of see both in the main board and sideboard package. I've had a lot of fun with Shops. That's honestly why I play it. I think it has a pretty good, engine inside of every format of old school. That doesn't matter where you play, as long as one workshop's allowed. At least it's a fun deck to play. Highlights include some really pretty dual land altars. In case, if you're looking at that picture, the 4 on the left are Tundras by Dustin Brossard, and the ones to the right of that are Underground Seas, again by Dustin Brossard, and there's one Scrubland, just in case you couldn't identify by the art.
All right, and then why don't you tell us a little bit about the Northern Paladins?
Absolutely. So we play a modified EC rule set, which just about 7 big changes. It's what colloquially would have been called like Gentleman's Magic plus a few other changes. We found it to encourage a greater number of fun decks. Like Atlantic, it is all about having the largest number of tier 1 decks, which I think is super great because you get a lot of competitive decks. We're trying to change the meta around just a little bit, small tweaks to make it so you can play crazy things you normally otherwise couldn't. Cards like Desert get opened up and get played, stuff that you otherwise would ignore. Safe Haven, that's a card that's not generally playable, but in a format where Strip Mine's just not even allowed, it gets to be more powerful. Yeah, so it's just fun stuff. That's the idea.
And you wanted to talk today about a special item that you guys have for the Northern Paladins?
Yeah, that's right. We have this beautiful playmat. I don't know if you can see it here. I'm sure Rich will put a link over later, and you can. Done by Dustin Brossard. It's kind of like a throwback with a bunch of characters on it, the Northern Paladins. You can see the guy from Ice Storm there, Hypnotic Spectre, Nether Shadow, the Hordes in the background there. Tons of fun stuff. We just released it this last week. You can pick up a copy for yourself. We got maybe half of our supply left. It'll go quick. But if you want to rep this mat, go ahead and pick it up in the link.
All right. I just put that link for everybody in the chat so that anybody who is interested in that can take a look at that. All right. So next we're going to bring you to Mike. Mike VanDyke, and this is the red, blue, and white deck that Mike is playing. So,
Yeah.
Mike, why don't you talk to us a little bit about you, a little bit about your deck, and a little bit about the club you play for.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've been playing Magic since about Revised, and I've pretty much played some form of Magic for that entire time. The deck I'm playing is, I mean, it's 5 colors technically. There's a regrowth in there, and there's some red and black cards, but it's mostly blue-white. And I mean, I don't know. I've played different decks, varying versions of this type of thing before, and this is just sort of where I've ended up. It's pretty versatile, and all the cards, generally are, I don't know, they're all pretty good. They're all pretty powerful, and the way that the games play out just tend to be really interesting and intricate. And there's a lot of decisions to make, so it's led to a lot of fun for me being able to play matches with the deck. Um, and yeah, I'm part of the Beast of the Bay out in the Bay Area, California. Uh, we yeah we're part of we're one of the founding members of the Old School Pacific Conference that runs the Pacific rule set, and that's one of the 4 strip mine formats. I actually like to play pretty much any old school format. It doesn't really matter. So I've definitely enjoyed playing in all the Atlantic format stuff too with 1 strip mine. It's all good fun to me. And yeah, I know you were gonna share a link. We in a couple of days we're gonna start the Pacific Conference as a whole. All the groups that are part of it have put together a charity auction that's going to start on Thursday this week, and it's to benefit 3 different charities. And there's a video that you can link to that talks about what those charities are and what all the various items are going to be and that sort of thing. All 3 charities are in general about racial inequality and injustice. So that's sort of the purpose of
Right.
the charity auction.
Well, I put the link in chat for anybody who wants to take a look at that video that gives you all the information on that. And as always, we definitely appreciate anything that the old school community does when it comes to charitable work. So another thing too is people don't always understand that old school Magic is not just about playing with the old cards. It's about charity. And I know the Beasts of the Bay specifically are extremely active in giving to charity and doing things like this auction. So I'm hoping that this auction does extremely well for everybody as well.
Thanks.
All right. So what's going to happen now is the gentlemen are going to shuffle up, and while they're doing that, and we're talking about charity, I wanted to talk to everybody about the Derby itself. So the old school Summer Derby was raising money for Partners in Health. Now, nobody was told that they needed to make any kind of donation. It was all suggested, but it was never required. But as a group, with the 256 players that we had, we raised $3,505.19. Dave Firth Barden made that contribution earlier in the was it last weekend, and we are happy to be a part of the old school community that does things like these, like the Beasts of the Bay, their auction, and like the the charity donation for the Summer Derby itself. So I definitely appreciate everybody who played, everybody who is who donated, and let's hope for some good games of Magic here as part of the top 8. So without further ado, we bring you our top 8 match between Angelo and Mike. Angelo is on the left, Mike is on the right. Angelo has agreed to keep a visual representation of life on the table, while Mike keeps track on his notepad that you can see on the one side of his screen. So, gentlemen, good luck. Angelo gets to choose to go first, to play first or draw first, and I hope for a great match. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Rich. Okay, I will choose to play first. Would you please choose 1, 2, 3, or 4 for my deck to start, and then you can, of course, sequence the rest as well as you please.
Sure, yeah. We'll have 3 as the bottom. 4 can go on top of that, and then 1, and then 2.
then 1, and then 2 on the top. Yep.
Yep. I only did 3 stacks, but you can do the same thing. 1, 2, 3.
No problem. We'll take your bottom stack and put it on the top, and then just put the just go like that, and then take that and pick it up. But yep, perfect.
Got it.
Perfect. Good luck, my man.
Yeah,
Thanks
you
for
too.
playing with me, and again, congrats on this top 8. This is
Yeah,
a fun tournament.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if
All
I've
right,
got an
let's
opener I
see
can
how
keep.
this goes. Now, for those who tuned into the stream and saw Angelo play his top 16 match, he had a mulligan and was able to get some pretty explosive start, an explosive start game 1, and then was able to grind it out game 2 to get to where he is today. So we'll see what his starts are. Shops can do those explosive starts, and they can have those hands where you play a whole bunch of cards on turn 1 and have a great board presence. So let's see what happens.
Lead with an Underground Sea and a Lotus, and then pass back to you.
Okay. Sea and Lotus. So he didn't open with a shop, and he didn't open with anything that costs 4.
Play a Tundra and a Savannah Lands. Go ahead.
Okay. Meow meow, kitty kitty.
Draw.
So an aggressive start for Mike.
Gonna play
Let's see what's going on for Angelo.
Mishra's Factory.
All right, 5 mana available now.
And we're gonna pass back to you.
Okay. So not as explosive for Angelo as in his last match.
Play an Underground Sea. Check on my line.
No blocks. 18.
Go ahead.
I know that Angelo has studied the deck list of his opponents extremely well, so he may have kept a more controlling hand, like you suggested, just so that he can, knowing the deck list and knowing what is good and what is not so good. Both of these decks want to be the aggressor. Remember, Mike has 4 Swords of Plowshares and 4 Disenchants in his main deck. So, with those cards, he can control this game. And Angelo needs to try to win game 1 as best he can, because Mike has such hate cards in his sideboard that give Angelo trouble. So that Angelo needs to do everything he can to win game 1, and then see what he can do to squeak out one of those sideboard games.
A Volcanic.
We're going to see a dib here.
And
Mike's the tank here. He probably has several things to think about. He's got a lot of cards in hand still.
yeah, I'll stack my line.
All right, so Angelo probably is going to
activate the factory.
block here, or attempt to, and I'm thinking that Mike has some way to deal with.
I'm gonna
the factory.
I'm gonna swords it before blockers.
Okay.
I'm going to pump it to gain 3.
Sure.
Okay.
21.
All right. And then the line's going to come
19.
home.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right. One thing in this matchup, keeping Angelo off 6 mana is definitely an important thing.
I'm gonna play Tundra.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Angelo's haymakers cost 6 mana with 3 Trikes and 2 copies of Tetravis.
I'm gonna cast Demonic Tutor.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, DT's fine.
So Mike is running some counter spells in his deck. He is running counter spells. So he is running the aggressive creatures. He is running counter spells. He's running the standard white removal package. So this could end up being a tough game one for Angelo. But Angelo, again, he wants to try to do what he can to win this first game, because those energy fluxes and the dust to dust in the sideboard of Mike are definitely going to be problematic for Angelo. So if he can steal this game one, then he only has to win one of the two games with all the hate. Whereas if he loses game one, then he's got to play through hate for games 2 and game 3.
It's always such a critical clutch decision, right? You're like, I know I'm gonna have resistance no matter what I pick up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, Mike is representing a counter spell. Again, he has 4 counter spells and he has a mana drain. So ideally for Mike is that he's going to end up mana draining one of the 6 mana spells that Angelo casts.
Yeah, no matter what I take, it's the wrong decision. 100%. I choose one card. It's in my hand. I pass back to you.
Okay.
Alright, so we took a card. Yeah, turn 4 with no threats is kind of scary for Angelo. So we'll see. Yeah, Angelo is definitely now the underdog.
Attack for 2.
No block, 17.
Yeah, because Mike doesn't have to play anything right now until Angelo does. He's got that lion on the table that can do damage, and Angelo can't just keep swinging.
Play
back.
Flames, and
What are we going to see here? Time Walk?
I'm going to cast my own Demonic Tutor.
Oh, Demonic Tutor. Okay.
DT's good.
Is he just going to do the standard Tutor for Ancestral Recall, or is he going to get something else? He could end up getting some kind of counter spell.
Take this card.
I'm sure no matter what, though, Mike has an answer for whatever Angelo's first big play is going to be. Whether it be a counterspell or a disenchant, Source of Plowshares, something. So, we'll see how this goes.
And I'll just pass the turn.
Draw a card.
Alright, so Angelo did not tutor for an Ancestral Recall.
How many cards do you have?
He
right
probably would have
I have
fired
5
off
cards in hand.
during Mike's end step had he done so.
Going to attempt to Mind Twist you for 4.
Alright, so that was probably his tutor target. Alright, so the only counterspell in Angelo's deck is the Mana Drain. So if he has the Mana Drain, he's got the 2 mana back right now so that he can in fact counter it back.
Well, that's unfortunate. Assuming I know what you got already, I'm trying counterspell.
Mana Drain.
Alright, so he did have his Mana Drain.
So I'll get 4. What did I get from you?
There you go.
City of Brass, Ancestral, Chaos Orb, and
Right, so Mike
Mana
did
Drain.
probably
Fair enough.
tutor for the Ancestral.
after that, I pass to you. It's your go.
Draw. Attack for 2.
No blocks, 15.
Good.
Untap. Main phase, 2 mana, colorless.
Mm-hmm.
Draw. I will spend the 2 colorless and these for a Suchi.
All right, there we go. 2 colorless plus 2 mana gets him a Suchi.
I pass to you.
All right, so now he's got a threat on the table, and he's got most of the cards out of that. DRT 509 in old school Magic, if you it's assumed that you are playing your spells during your second main phase, so that the mana drain would end up being in the first main of the next.
Draw.
That's Sweet Suchi, signed by Christopher Rush.
I'm gonna swing for 4.
He's got the mana sink with the Mistress Factory, so if he does double block, he can just throw all 4 mana into the factory.
Just gonna double block.
Okay.
Sounds good. Post combat, I'm gonna jam my mana here into my factory.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Time Walk.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take my Time Walk turn. How many cards in hand?
I have 1.
Okay. Draw for the turn.
Mm-hmm.
So the power of Mind Twist is probably going to get Angelo back
I'm gonna
into this
activate
game.
my factory. Swing for 2.
Yep. 18.
Angelo has 4
gonna
cards
pass to you,
to
Chico.
Mike's 1. Mike now has 2 cards after his draw.
I'll play a jet. Go ahead.
Okay, so Mike has 1 card to Angelo's now 5.
Ancestral targeting myself.
Oh, nice rip
Sure.
off the top.
Land drop and a Mox. No hiding what I drew.
Sure.
No hiding what he drew.
And you have 1 card in hand still, right?
Yep.
I'm going to activate and swing for 2.
Yep.
Turn 16. Pass to you. Your go.
Play factory. Go ahead.
Untap. Draw. Play a jet. Activate my factory.
Mm-hmm.
Swing.
Yep. Take it.
Put you on 14.
Mm-hmm.
Pass to you. Your go.
All right. So now does Mike just start swinging back? Do they start trading blows with the factory?
Mm-hmm.
That twist really, really hurt. Mike had protected himself by having that counterspell up, but it wasn't enough because Angelo had that mana drain, his lone counterspell in his main deck.
I'll pass to you.
All right. So now chances are fairly good that unless Angelo has some sort of answer to the
Activate
factory. All right.
Sure.
So he has something in his
for
hands
2.
to deal with the opposing factory,
Gonna
because
activate my factory.
if not, the factory
I'm gonna
blocks
disenchant
and
Sure.
he pumps itself up to 3/3.
I'm gonna sword your factory.
Okay.
He is swordsed.
All right.
I
So
gain
Angelo has
2.
used his only
17,
counterspell
14.
in his deck,
Mhm.
so that sword is definitely going to resolve.
I am going to pass back to you. Your go.
Go.
Underground Sea. I am going to
So you're going to drop a 6-drop?
play a Tetravis.
There we go.
Sure.
Pass to you.
Another removal spell for Mike? No.
Draw.
Now, Angelo has been pretty aggressive with splitting Tetravis into
Just
4.
gonna fireball your Tetravis before.
Okay, so
It's
he had a removal spell.
And I'll play City of Brass. Go ahead.
I'm going to play a Triskelion.
Okay.
Sure.
Another 6 drop.
Pass to you.
What's Swords the Trike?
I'm going to shoot you twice and it once.
Yep, sure. So I'm at 12.
Okay.
And it's in my yard. Yep.
So by shooting him twice and shooting itself once, that means that it's not exiled. All right, there's a
Serendip's good.
Go ahead.
All right, so it's in the graveyard, so it can come back for something like Time Twister or a Recall.
It's a workshop. I'm gonna play an Icy.
Now Angelo's not playing Recall, but he is playing Time Twister, so it is relevant. Of course, Mike does not have a Time Twister in his main deck. It is in his sideboard, so if it is going to come back, it is because of Angelo's own Time Twister.
Yeah, it's just as good as anything else. So I'm going to Sonic Blast your Serendip right now.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna be at 15, and I'm gonna pass to you. And during your upkeep, I'm going to put you tap your City of Brass and put you on 11.
Mm-hmm.
Right, City of Brass, whenever it becomes tapped, its controller
Seems
takes a
safer to
point
get
of
rid of
damage.
Dib now than give you a card. I'm gonna play a Suchi.
Sure.
I'm gonna pass to you, and during your upkeep, I'm gonna tap your City of Brass, putting you on 10.
Yep. Good.
Tap. Draw. I'm gonna swing 4 at you.
Mm-hmm.
Put you on 6. I'm gonna play Jamade Tome.
Sure.
So this is the turn that Mike has to deal with the Suchi.
I'm gonna put you on 5 by tapping your City of Brass.
Yep.
If he does not, then he dies on his next upkeep.
Interesting.
Yeah, Sartorial, what happened is that in old school Magic, it is assumed that if you don't have a way to attack, that you are casting your spells in your second main phase because of mana drain. That's all.
Play City of Brass, and I'll take 1.
Put you on 4.
Sure.
Sure,
I'm going to
not a
redraw
problem.
something. It probably doesn't really matter what I'm redoing.
Well, it's on the stack. Never mind. Pass. Yep, go ahead.
Okay.
I know the target first, of course.
See, with the intention of that he did with the mana drain was that he was going to use it. So we had something different happen in a previous match, and it was ruled the other way. But after long discussion, it was decided that if the players agree that it was in the second main phase and that the mana is going to be on the next turn, then it was in the second main
Make sure
phase.
you're just going to target Fireball.
And you have 1 card in hand.
Yep.
And haven't played a land this turn, right?
I played a City of Brass.
You did play City of Brass. Okay. Fireball to hand is good. Go for it. Yep.
Play my Mox.
Mm-hmm.
And Fireball the Suchi.
Okay. I'm gonna jam the mana into my book and draw a card.
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So Mike is still alive.
Draw a card. And you have no cards in hand, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Mike has
I'm
no
gonna play
cards.
Triskelion.
Angelo has 4.
Okay.
Okay. All right. That's the game. Strike hits him for 3, and then he taps the City of Brass.
Mind Twist did a lot of work.
Mind Twist
I
definitely
would
did a
say
lot
that's
of.
probably the only thing that mattered in that game.
I agree. I think a card is overpowered. I've banned it in 2 formats. That's how strong I think it is. So, like, I think it's very potent and it swings games. It makes outcomes, and people like that, and some people hate it. I don't personally like it.
All right. So
but
they're
I play
going to
it
go to
obviously
the sideboards
in
right
this,
now.
in this event. I
All
played
right.
the balance.
So that
the
means
Philadelphia
that
balance,
Mike
before
will
the
be
Derby
on
started,
the
and
play.
I didn't
He
play Mind
will,
Twist in my deck on purpose. And
I'm sure that he's
made
going
a
to be boarded in
huge
the energy
difference.
fluxes and the
I
dust to
had
dust,
so many of my matches
and
determined
possibly
by the
divine
card.
offerings.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what else he would board in. But Dust to Dust and the Energy Flux are huge in this matchup because Dust to Dust taxes the mana so much.
We decide?
And you can't tap
What
Workshop
kind of
in order to
right?
pay for the upkeep. So Workshop is basically useless with an Energy Flux on the table. Dust to Dust exiles 2 artifacts. Divine Offering is destroy target artifact, then gain life equal to its converted mana cost. So those could come in also for all the artifacts.
It's not easy, actually.
Angelo has.
One of my good
now,
friends here,
we've seen in the past that Angelo,
he plays a deck
with his sideboard, will frequently board into a controlling version.
Style, right?
Mhm.
And it's
so
very
by
good
boarding
deck.
into like a control deck,
Obviously, it's an understatement. It's sitting here
Angelo will board out the one-ups,
56 players.
so he'll take
You have
out
to be a good
the
deck with a good player, almost certainly piloting it.
It can't be
So
the work
his-
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Transmute artifact. He'll
And,
take out
it
his
offers a lot of challenge,
Mirror
right?
Universe. He'll take out his Tonos Coffin for
Yeah,
sure.
it's just
Those tricks
it has a
will
lot
come
of
out.
versatile cards.
And then I'm not sure exactly what else he would board out. But he may board in his Cities in a Bottle for this matchup because of the fact that he himself is only running 1 City of Brass and 1 Library of Alexandria,
I
whereas
just need to find it.
Mike is running, the 4 Serendib Efreets, 4 Cities of Brass,
So you're on the player
and
draw.
1 Library of Alexandria. So a City in a Bottle can be
Shocking
pretty
nobody with
devastating
lines.
because it stops 9 cards in Mike's deck. So we'll see what happens. And while they are shuffling up for sideboard, I appreciate everybody joining the stream. Please, if you haven't already, follow and set on those notifications so that you know when I go live. My normally scheduled stream is Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. I play
I like
3
your
rounds
time
of Old
twister in
School
the
Magic
sideboard.
with the Northern Paladins as part of the Tuesday night
I've
gauntlet.
done that before, and I
All right.
think there are,
And then
especially in
this
fact,
coming
the Shops
Saturday,
deck that I was playing mono blue, actually
I
did
will
that
be
because I wasn't
playing
sure
in
that I wanted to
MobsterCon.
refill my opponent's hands necessarily.
Yeah.
Last year, MobsterCon was a 3-person team unified constructed event. It was held in Edison, New Jersey. Because of COVID, most Magic tournaments now for Old School are via webcam. So MobsterCon is no different. So to recreate that experience of 3 teams, each player is supposed to build 3 different decks, unified constructed, so that if you put all 3 decks together, they would have to still be 1 legal deck. Decks to be labeled A, B, and C, and you won't know which decks you play until the beginning of the round. So it could be ABCA, it could be BCA, it could be CBA in that order. There are no sideboards, and one thing is that Savannah is super unrestricted, so any number of Savannahs is allowed in any deck. So if somebody wants to submit 3 decks that are 60 Savannahs, then they can definitely go for that, and they can do that. All right, so again, I thank everybody for joining the stream, and we are getting ready for game number 2, and Mike will be on the play. Yeah, I get what everybody's talking about with the mana drain. All right, part of Old School is playing the cards the way that the way that they were intended to be played, by putting the mana drain on top of his library. As a reminder, Angelo was telling Mike that he understood that he was getting the mana on the next turn, and that Mike was in agreement with that. So by Mike not saying that there was any problem with that, he assumed that Angelo was playing the Mind Twist during the second main phase. All right. I'm going to talk to them.
We'll put your middle on top and your top on bottom.
All right, gentlemen, before we start this game, I want to say something. Okay, when it comes to mana drain gives mana during the next main phase. So if you play something pre-combat and play the mana drain pre-combat, then it gives you the mana during your second combat phase. Now, the way that Mike assumed that Angelo was playing the Mind Twist during the second main phase and allowed that mana during the first main phase of the following turn, I don't have a problem with that, but we definitely need to clarify when you're casting your spells. All right, so just so you guys are aware, both of you have mana drain, and we don't want there to be a situation where a match is determined by mana burn from a mana drain. Do we understand?
Sure.
All right, thanks guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so I have clarified it with them. They know exactly when to do what they're going to do, so there shouldn't be a problem whatsoever.
On the top. 2 on the top, 1 below it, and then 3.
I do appreciate everybody's concern.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, and then which one's 1, 2, 3? I guess.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. We'll have 1 on the bottom. 3 can go next, and 2 can go on top.
Okay, perfect. Good luck, Mike.
Yeah, good luck.
I would rather it not continue to be a problem, so that it's better, obviously, for the players. It's better for viewing if we address it now. So that's what we did.
No, wait.
I'll keep this.
Okay, Mike going down to 6. Now, it is definitely possible that Mike is going to mulligan for... He could be mulliganing for one of the energy fluxes or a dust to dust. All right, so we're not sure if that's exactly the case, but he does have those. I'm assuming that all 4 of those cards came in for one reason or another.
What the plays were on my turn there. Did I swing and then? I'm trying to understand.
There was no
No,
attack. You
you
paid the mana for the
specify-
Mind Twist, left 2 mana up. Didn't specify you were going into the second main phase. But
So you would have got mana on your second main phase rather than on your next turn.
Oh, so I wasn't clear on whether I was in post-combat main phase or pre-combat main phase?
Right.
correct, yeah.
Got it. I follow.
So again, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
We'll do the same thing. So the middle on the top and the... Yeah, perfect.
All right, so let's see if Mike has a better 6. Again, Mike is still the aggro deck, regardless of whether or not he's playing. Regardless of whether or not he's playing with 5 counter spells, he's still the aggro deck. But if he can stop Angelo from doing broken things and keep this an honest game where Angelo doesn't get to get things out by tapping 2 lands as opposed to 6 lands or 6 mana sources, then that is the game that Mike wants to play, because he should be winning those games. If Angelo has to play Fair Magic, this favors Mike. If Angelo gets to do broken things and doesn't have to play Fair Magic, then this is going to favor Angelo.
I'll play City of Brass and the Jet and say go.
Okay. I will play a Tundra and a Sapphire and a Emerald.
Okay.
Then I will pass into you at your go.
So this would be a good play if Mike plays a land and then drops a energy flux. Another thing that he could do is drop a white land and exile both of the Moxen with dust to dust. Well, Sartorial84, welcome to Twitch. I'm out of wine. I should have gone for wine during that break.
I'm going to disenchant your jet, please. End of turn.
Okay, yep, that's fine.
Okay, so Angelo keeping Mike off mana. Mike did not play a land, so
I'm going to play a Chaos Orb.
Yep.
I'll move to activate my Chaos Orb.
it was easier watching than playing Jeff. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I will choose your City of... wait. Yep, City of Brass. Yep, City of Brass. Will represent City of Brass.
Mm-hmm.
I hit.
Okay. So, hitting that
I
mana.
pass back to you.
My volcanic. Go ahead.
Tap. Draw. I'll play Underground Sea and then Icy Manipulator.
Ooh.
Okay.
During your upkeep, I'll tap your volcanic item.
Yeah, Sartorial84, I definitely agree. Everybody is doing an excellent job with the streaming. It has definitely been a fun derby to watch, especially these top 16s. There were so many people who, even in the batch rounds, were streaming their matches. Even somebody who was 0-4 going into batch 2. There's merit in watching those games because they're fun.
I'm going to tap down your volcanic item.
Sure. Go.
Thanks, Viking. I just appreciate that everybody's watching these matches, regardless of who is streaming them. These matches deserve to be watched.
I'll pass to you.
Yeah, these matches are definitely great.
Mystery's Factory.
This one's not going so well for Mike.
Move to attack.
He stumbled on that land drop.
16.
Angelo had 2 disenchants for the 2 Moxen, had the Chaos Orb for the City of Brass, and is tapping the Volcanic every turn now.
Play library.
Cards in hand.
7.
Okay, he's got an active
Well,
library.
I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you actually got that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't really matter a whole lot when you have icy out. It's fine. I will just, yeah, I'll just pass the turn.
Draw a card. I will swing for
If anything's going to get
4.
Mike back into this, it's going to be
Then I'm gonna
that Library of
play
Alexandria.
another trike.
Okay.
All right, so here's his opening.
That guy.
All right,
That. And
so he
then
taps the Library of Alexandria end step to draw a
pass you
card,
during
bringing
your
him to
upkeep. I'm
8.
gonna tap your volcanic.
And a turn, I'm going to use the library.
Okay, goes up to 8 cards.
Or I suppose, yeah.
Untaps
Yeah,
both.
fine. Yeah, go for it. And then upkeep, tap that volcanic.
Okay.
Yeah, he's effectively at 6. That is absolutely true. All right. But now he's got 9 cards. Is there something that he can do here? Can he play, say, a Lotus or, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 artifacts on Angelo's, 5 artifacts on Angelo's side. So a Lotus into an Energy Flux gets him right back in this. A Disenchant can get him in this. Yeah, balance is pretty ridiculous. Last time I checked, that balance was a really good card.
Play planes.
All right.
And, yeah, I'll just disenchant a trike now.
I'll shoot you for 3.
Yep, 9.
All right, slowly getting there.
Go ahead.
And you're done with that.
I'm at 7 cards, yeah.
Tap. Draw. Swing for 4.
Yep.
Put you at 5.
Another trike, maybe.
Pass, upkeep. I'm going to tap your volcanic. Actually, upkeep. You have 7. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to tap the volcanic. That's what I'm going to do. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Draw.
Not sure why he didn't attack with the factory. That definitely would have been game right there. So he gives Mike one extra turn to draw something. But he still has to deal with both the factory and the trike, so that might not be enough. The energy flux doesn't deal with the factory, and he can always shoot 3 at him end step with the trike. Yeah, strip balance or strip disenchant. Yeah, sure. He would have to have both of them right now.
I'm gonna play Lotus.
And Angelo would have to not be holding a counter spell.
I'd like that to be on the stack. Give me a moment.
Okay.
Cards in hand.
7 cards in hand.
I have 7 right now.
You haven't played a land this turn, but you have drawn your draw, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's how you have 8.
I mean, even a time walk here isn't terrible.
I'm going to counter the Lotus.
Counter on the Lotus. So Angelo definitely boarded into his control package, which is something that we expected. We've seen him do several times in this tournament.
Yep. I think here.
Another thing with the Lotus too is
Yeah, I'm gonna.
he could counter whatever he casts with said Lotus. Top 8 is
Grass.
best of 3. The top 4 in the
Yeah.
finals are best of 5.
Take 1 and go to 4. I'm gonna regrowth targeting my Lotus.
Yep,
Cast Lotus.
you got it.
Okay.
I'll make white mana, and I'm gonna dust to dust your trike and your AC.
I'll shoot you for 3, put you at 1.
Sure. Go ahead.
Those
All
are
right.
removed.
So he probably has the Swords to
Okay.
Plowshares.
Well, you gotta have that swords in hand.
Use the Emerald, activate, and swing.
And cards, how many?
I have 4.
Yeah, that was a burn off. I mean, whether I get it now or later makes no difference, so I'll swing in.
Yeah, all swords.
Yep, perfect.
Okay.
2 to 22.
All right. So that City of Brass is
And
pretty much dead right now. The Icy is gone, so
Play
it
a
doesn't
Tundra
tap right
Master.
there.
Let's just move that aside. I'm not gonna be tapping that anytime soon. Draw. Yeah, let's just cast Energy Flux.
Yeah, Sartorial,
Sure,
it's
she flashes.
because of the number of exclamation points that
I
you were
will
timed
spend
out for those 5
these
seconds.
2 during
That's
my
all.
upkeep to pay for Sapphire and let Angelo go.
Okay.
Mm.
And then I'll draw a card.
Mhm.
It's a factory.
Okay.
Pass to you.
Draw.
Hope it's the comeback of the century. That would be pretty good. But we'll see.
Go ahead.
Cards in hand.
4.
Okay. Untap. I will spend it to activate my factory.
Before we leave your upkeep, I'm going to disenchant your factory.
That's
Ooh,
good.
okay.
If you would.
All right, we've got a game, gentlemen.
Card, workshop. Pass to you.
Okay. So, trike is the worst thing that can happen for Mike right now.
Go ahead.
Pass to you.
So, it might be best for Mike to just sit back and go draw go for a few turns.
Factory. Pearl. I'll play Sarah Angel.
Icy does win the game. He does have 2 more in the deck. I'm not sure if he sideboarded any of them out.
Yeah, that's good.
Go ahead.
I'll sort the Sarah.
Okay.
That was actually really good for Mike. Being up to 5. Getting to use that City of Brass. Having that extra cushion.
I'll pass back to you.
Okay. Tap. Draw.
Pearl goes to the graveyard.
Say again?
Your Pearl goes to the graveyard, energy flux.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Unless you want to back it up and pay for it. I don't know. I think we missed that trigger.
Well, I mean, I'm not fully sure that's how old school works, but I'm going to get rid of it anyway.
No, I'm saying fully sure that what? I'm sorry, I'm not following.
No, I'm just saying, like, there's not really trigger missing in old school, but I'm going to let it die anyway.
There is trigger missing in old school.
I'm trying to give you the opportunity if that's really what you wanted to do.
No. I want it to die.
Okay.
Yeah, if Angelo had attacked with that factory. And if we won't bring that up until game 3. At the end of the match. So
No blocks, 20.
Okay. Go ahead.
Cards in hand?
I have 2.
I'm going to play a Tundra.
Okay.
Pass to you.
Draw. Activate attack.
18.
Go ahead.
It's funny, it came back to bite me in the butt because if I kept both factories, you don't have double white sources. It ends up being good. Pass to you. But I can't plan on your mana.
Trigger missing. If a trigger goes on the stack,
Eventually,
you have to take care of it. Energy flux creates a separate trigger for each different permanent. That is an artifact. So if you have 7 artifacts on the table, then you've got 7 triggers on your upkeep. If you go to your draw step, technically you've missed your trigger and you would have to sacrifice them. That's all.
Let's see here. I'm gonna do that. 1, 2. I'm gonna cast DT.
Demonic Tutor.
DT's good.
Now, does he go for a counterspell here so that he can so he can protect himself even further, just in case something big comes out of Angelo's hand? Or does he just go for an ancestral and start activating his library on the following turn?
Yeah, okay. Just gonna get this.
It's also possible he goes for strip mine just in case there's
I'll
another
pass
factory.
turn after that.
It's an uncounterable way to deal with a factory.
I'll pass back to you.
Healing salve. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's at 5, so. Yeah, healing salve is definitely the play here. Regardless of whether or not he has a lich, anywhere in his 75, healing salve is the thing that he should be running. But
Draw.
because it's not in his 75, then I don't think that he can go for a healing salve right now.
And island.
See, Library of Alexandria is so broken that it even taps for mana.
Just gonna activate factory.
Yeah, hidden mode on Library of Alexandria. Tap it to add a mana to your mana pool.
Pass to you.
All right, so it's just some draw go for
Oh,
Angelo for a couple of turns,
sun draw.
and it's land activate factory go for Mike for a few turns. Ooh, he's tapping 2 mana, so he's gonna do some. Ooh, 3 mana. Something else is happening here. Sarah Angel.
We'll play Sarah Angel.
Okay,
You got it.
just a
ahead.
faster clock. Brings the clock to 3 turns. As opposed to 7.
I'm gonna tap factory.
Workshop, not factory. We know what he's talking about.
For Soul Ring.
He's got 2 colors floating.
4
4,
colors.
probably dropping a Suchi.
5
Oh, 6. Tetravis.
for a trike.
Oh, a trike. Okay. Alright, I'm sure that Mike has a counterspell here. The way that Mike tapped and with no attack from the factory, there's no reason that there's no counterspell in his hand. Might even be mana drain, which would be pretty huge.
Which meant you have 5 mana up.
Correct. 3 undergrounds and 2 tundras.
Oops. Dropping stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna counterspell.
Countered.
Okay, so
And you're
it's
down to 2.
3 trikes spoken for.
Two,
2 and
oh, two cards, yeah, 2 cards, yeah.
I'm gonna pass back to you.
Draw. Gonna activate this factory.
You got it.
Attack for 6.
You got it. 8.
Go ahead.
Okay, so 2 more turns.
I'm gonna lose my Soul Ring.
Okay.
Because triggers do happen in old school. I will play a Abyss.
Okay, so that's gonna bring the clock down to 4 turns. If it resolves,
Mana drain.
mana drain
got
on
it.
the abyss. Okay. All right.
Pass back to you.
Okay. Draw. We'll get 4 mana. Just gonna sink it into my factory.
You got it.
Attack for 6.
I'm on 2.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Good comeback, mate. Scoot.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
That
I should
was
have
an
swung with my,
amazing game of
factory
Magic.
that one turn, but I didn't swing with it.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Right, okay, so he just realized that he didn't swing with the factory that one time, and that ended up costing him. So
Or held,
Angelo,
like I said, held, then I have 2, and then you're off white. That's okay. I work myself into a loss from a win position, so I'll
Yeah.
be on the play.
yeah. Wow, that was definitely a nice comeback.
I mean, you played
Well,
phenomenally from that point.
Shuffle
so
up for the next
obviously.
game. While they
Minus
are
the
shuffling
salt.
up for the next game, I'm going to run and get a refill on my wine.
Say again?
I said minus the salt about triggers. I don't understand why you made that
No,
comment.
it just sounded like you were attempting to force me to have missed the option. If that makes sense.
No, yeah. The idea of keeping track of game states both of our jobs in a webcam. It's a lot harder to stop you from drawing, etc. and upkeep.
Yeah, I just think we miscommunicated then.
Take it. Cool.
That game was definitely pretty epic. Never give up.
Let's see if I can get a player.
Play to your outs. And that's exactly what Mike did.
Still anyone's match.
Angelo
That's
gave
what
him the
your deck does,
opportunity,
is stabilize like
and
did.
he, in
Yeah.
fact, capitalized on that. So, while they are shuffling up, again, my regularly scheduled stream is Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern as part of the Northern Paladin Tuesday Night Gauntlet. I play 3 rounds of old school Magic, so please, if you're not following already, please follow and turn on those notifications so that you know when I go live. Also, I will be streaming my matches from MobsterCom this upcoming Saturday, beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern. So, if you are going to not going to play in MobsterCom, I definitely would watch if I were you. And a big thank you for Dave Firth Bard, who is the organizer of this event and who is in our chat right now. We, as a collective group of old school players, raised $3,505.19 for Partners in Health. So, big shout out there. I was online yesterday, and there was a big time YouTuber who had 900,000 viewers, and they raised $900, and we raised $3,500 with 256 people. So, that is definitely a good return. That's part of what old school is about. Is that we need to help each other out and help people out who are in less fortunate situations.
I'm gonna ship it back. I'm gonna show the world though.
I think we should give Mike some slack on the salt.
I mean,
You
I got
never
a
know
Tundra
how
and a jet,
people
I can copy right out the gate.
have come to play old school.
And I
There
get
was a
Sapphire off
lot
the top,
of
puts me on blue.
stuff
It's pretty nice.
happening in the 90s with
it's not
spiky
bad, but
people
you know
trying to
what?
mind game you,
I'm not gonna gamble
which
with
might be
match
something
on
that
an
sticks
opener
with you
that's
for 20
subideal when
years.
there are so
Doesn't
many
excuse
good-
it. These aren't new players.
And
Yeah.
you're keeping?
Um,
Or do we resolve mulligans in synchronous, like 7, 6, 5, etc.?
yeah, we do. I'm still thinking.
Okay, cool. I'll hold my.
All right, so
response to
Angelo
you in a
is
second.
going down to 6. Thank you, everybody, for joining the stream. I hope everybody is enjoying this matchup. If you joined the stream late, wow, did you miss one heck of a comeback on Mike's part to win that second game. He was down to 1 life point with a city brass on the table, and Angelo also had an IC manipulator, but he was able to pull it off. Is it too late to sign up for MobsterCom? No, it is not. You can sign up for MobsterCom. It will be closing on Thursday, according to Mano's podcast, so that he can figure things out all day Friday, all the logistics of things.
I'll just keep it.
There were there's Mano. Yeah, there we go. So last I knew there were about 60 players already. So we're hoping for a big turnout for that. And I'm looking forward to streaming it. I already have a bunch of ideas for decks in mind. But first, I need to I need to put a deck together for my matches tomorrow on tomorrow night's stream for the Tuesday Night Gauntlet. So 65 as of now. All right, so we're in 7-round territory. That's nice. 65
Ship it back.
players, 195.
Okay.
Ooh, another
Double copy,
mulligan from
counterspell,
Angelo.
Factory Tundra.
Yeah.
Suchi on 2.
Yeah,
And then
so
nothing-
MobsterCon
nothing
is
for
coming up
days.
this weekend. It should be a
No,
very,
let's go
very
downtown.
good time.
Okay, gamble.
Savannah is super unrestricted, which means that anybody can play any number of Savannahs in their deck,
can roll
in
all the
any
way down
of their
to
decks.
two
But
card keep.
before that,
If I can get
it
Lotus
was,
and Twister.
so you take all three of you build 3 decks, you put all 3 decks
I've
together,
definitely
and they still have to be
mulliganed myself out of
one
a match
legal
that
deck.
way.
So that's how Unified Constructed
Well,
works in
right.
old school Magic. So
Just 'cause the
if,
lowest I've ever gone and still won a
if
game
anybody
was
wants
That
to
wasn't even in
play,
high school.
you can still there's still
It was
time to sign up
Sure.
for MobsterCom. Right now, you have to sign up before the end of the day on
with
Thursday,
restricted cards.
and I will drop that.
For sure. I mean,
Drop that
it
link in the
swings back
stream
'cause
right
my
now.
opener on 1 was
All right,
really fast,
so
it's like,
whoops,
what are you gonna
didn't
do,
mean to
right?
keep that on the
Yeah.
screen, everybody. All right, but
1, 2, and 3.
yeah, that was another mulligan.
Yeah,
So
well,
Angelo is mulliganing down
One on
to
the bottom,
5.
then put 3 on top of that.
All right,
And
the
then
link that I dropped in
2
chat is for MobsterCom.
Okay, 7
and,
new cards. Come on, Lotus Twister.
Yeah, Lotus Twister
I
would
don't
be
even know if
fine.
that's actually like
That's not terrible.
fantasy right now, right?
I mean, even just ancestral. puts you
Shop,
back at parity,
Lotus,
right?
Twister.
Couple things.
So I'd have to tuck 2.
The last one, it's because it was a C and not a Tundra that was in his hand. That's why it wasn't a playable hand. If it were a Tundra, I believe he would have kept it.
It's going to be a rough match. A rough game, rather. With you +3 on me. Just make sure these are the right 2.
Yeah, Mike came back. Shouldn't have missed it. But thank you to my most recent follower, Bourbon County. I appreciate it.
And this is by all rights a keepable hand. Jesus.
It was definitely one hell of a comeback. As is tradition in my stream, I put in the wine glass emoji when I drink some wine. Angelo's in the tank here. I think he's going to keep this fine and leave this 5 and put 2 back. I don't know if he can go down to 4. Yeah.
Really? There's a green?
Yeah, the mulligan rule has definitely been pretty good for
Two to tuck,
Magic in
okay.
general. It's really
Okay.
good in old school too.
I'm gonna
Old school mana bases are pretty greedy. I mean, yes, you do get your mana
Factory
from
maps.
your dual lands, and you got your cities of brass. But you know, so many decks want to jam all 5 colors.
Yes. City, I'll take 1, and I'll play Soul Ring.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
City into Soul Ring is a pretty good start for Mike.
Gonna play Factory
Um,
and then a Suchi and pass to you.
Oh, okay. That works. That just got a little bit more interesting. Will this match make it to YouTube? Probably, at some point in time, yes. I do have a YouTube channel, and I do upload all my videos there. I do keep all of my videos private right now. And the reason being is that there's some housekeeping involved when it comes to my normal streams because of the fact that I use music and I have to give proper credit. I also wanted, when I do my own streams, is to put my deck list in that stream. But I think with something that is with such a monumental game as Game
Energy
2,
flux.
I might
Energy
just put this
flux.
up there
I'll just take
after
one.
we're
I'm gonna
done,
sword
and
Yasushi.
so that people can watch,
Great.
and then
That'll be
I'll
at
send a link to.
Yep.
I'll send a link
18.
out to
Good.
it once it's available, instead of making it just private.
I am going
Excuse
to
me.
play a Tundra, and then I'm going to play a. Chaos Orb.
Okay.
Then I'm going to
Are you going to activate on the Soul Ring or the Factory?
Orb, choose
Yeah.
Soul Ring.
Yeah, right there on the Soul Ring.
Here's my target for Soul Ring. Hits.
Yes, you are correct. His
Nasty.
Tundra and his
For 1 to 23.
his underground
Yep.
scene look a lot alike. It is definitely hard to tell the difference between the two of them. But one thing when it comes to old school Magic is that people like to personalize their things in different ways,
Sapphire.
whether it be altars or
Factory.
signatures,
I'll activate Factory.
or
and attack you.
something like
No blocks. 21.
artist proofs and things like that.
Go ahead.
Whenever he
Got
plays the
one card,
land, he's
counterspell
definitely
mana
announcing
up.
what it is.
I will attempt to play a Jamade Tome.
Right. Tone can't be activated right now, though. That's the problem. While casting it is fine. If Mike has a counterspell, he might be better off just holding on to it for
Yeah,
something more important later on down the road.
I'll take one. I'll counterspell.
Sounds good. 18. Pass to you.
Well, I'm at 17 from.
17. Sorry.
I think we missed one. Yeah, that's all.
Great,
I'm
no
at
problem.
Yeah, and they corrected it.
Untap.
Mhm.
Draw. Can you make 2 cards in here?
2 cards.
I will just activate a factory and attack you.
19.
Go ahead.
All right, so he has some sort of reactionary spell here, either a counterspell or a disenchant or
Pass
something
me.
like that in his hand. I'm sure by leaving that mana up.
Draw.
I'm drinking a dry red. I don't have it in the room with me. I left it in my camper, so it was pretty warm. So I have it in the chiller out in the other room to keep it at 65 degrees, which is like what I like my dry reds to be at. It is something. I went to the Thousand Islands camping over the weekend, and there's a Islands winery. Didn't have much of a choice when it came to the red wines that they had available, because somebody came and bought all of theirs. They bought all their Cab Sauv, their Merlot, and their Marquette. So this is a blend.
Activate a factory and attack.
No blocks.
Okay.
Wow. Thank you for the bits. I appreciate it.
I'll disenchant it.
Sure. Go ahead.
Pass to you.
Take 1.
16. Attack for 2. Alright, so I'm sure he has some way to deal with the opposing factory. Oh no, okay, he's not attacking. He's tapping the city for mana. Okay. Tapping for a black for demonic tutor.
You can get any card in your deck, but it's going to cost you a counterspell.
Mm-hmm. Angelo, that brings Angelo down to 1 card.
I mean, I know conventional wisdom is don't counter the tutor, but there's so many ways that could go wrong for me.
Yeah.
Hell, you could get your second white source and then play a Sarah.
I think it's just that happens.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Past you.
Oh.
I think Angelo actually talked Mike into not countering the spell there by saying, I don't want you to get your second white mana for your Sarah Angel. I think it's definitely possible Mike countered back if Angelo didn't say that.
Past you.
But we'll never know.
Okay. True. I'm gonna just cast Time Walk.
Time Walk's good.
And I'll take an extra turn.
Sounds good. Cantrip.
Yep. Draw.
There you go. Did that Time Walk just become Explore? Maybe not. This is still anybody's game.
Cards in hand?
I have 7.
7 cards in hand for Mike, 4 cards in hand for Angelo. Remember, Angelo mulliganed down to 5 on this.
I'll take 1. 15.
Can I cast a Regrowth here?
I'm gonna cast Regrowth.
Yep, okay.
What's your target?
Targeting Demonic Tutor.
Counterspell.
Counterspell on the Regrowth.
I will.
He wasn't going to be able to cast the Tutor this turn anyway, so I think it's a good use of the counterspell there. Alright, so now he's got the DT.
And,
he's going to force Angelo to have to answer whatever he casts with the DT, whatever he gets with the DT, or... okay, well that's a thing. Trike is a thing. Alright, so I don't think that factory is going to be activated anytime soon. I wonder if he's sitting with a Sarah Angel in hand or a Dust to Dust or something along those lines.
I mean, you have infinite options, 8 cards. Yeah?
7 cards.
7 cards.
Yeah. I think I will. Play a Volcanic, and I'm just gonna take 1.
Yeah, he ripped that Trike off the top.
And Fireball the Trike.
Okay, Fireball.
I'll shoot you for 3.
Yep.
So you'll take a total of 4 to 11.
Yep, I'm at 11. Go ahead.
Trike.
Yeah.
Sure.
Another Trike.
Pass.
Okay. Trikes for days. He milled it into play. Yeah, pretty much. Windmill slam that. Boom!
Keep setting them up. You keep knocking them down.
I know. Let's see here. I'm gonna count this out. Yeah, sure. So I'm gonna take 1.
Down to
10.
10.
Yeah.
For the Demonic Tutor.
I'll DT.
Yep.
DT's good. I feel like you got something in mind here.
just gonna get this and cast it.
For sure. That's totally
Seems
a
like a
fair
good play.
I'd rather have 3 cards that aren't DT right now. I feel I super feel it. There's a lot of good gas you can draw.
Yeah.
You play Volk this
Well, I
turn?
agree that Blood Moon would be good. Mike is not running a Blood Moon into 75.
No,
so
the volcanic was the previous turn. I'm pretty sure. Because I firebolt.
Energy Flux isn't so
Right.
great
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here.
Perfect, thank
He
you.
can pay for the trike.
I knew we'd get to the bottom of that mystery.
Right.
Hunting for a white source. See how good that was.
He hasn't played a land, so even another City of Brass is fine. Okay, there he goes. He's got a Tundra.
And yeah, I'll disenchant your trike now.
Shoot for 3, put you at 7.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. Another top deck of a 6 mana.
I am going
card?
to cast an Ancestral targeting myself.
Sure.
Ancestral's a good play.
I am going to
Strip Bine's
play,
not terrible.
making sure, yep. Play a Mishra's Workshop. I am going to
That makes all of his biggins so much easier to cast. Mike has Divine Offering in his sideboard.
play an Icy Manipulator and pass to you, and during your upkeep, I have effects.
Okay. It's my upkeep.
Please tap your City of Brass.
Alright, going with that plan with hitting that mana.
In response, I'm gonna
6.
take 1. And
Divine Offering
yeah.
would be good.
I'm gonna Divine Offering the Icy.
Alright, it goes back
So
up to
you're
10.
gonna gain 4.
Good call.
Yeah, 10.
It's good.
And then drop
That's
it down.
just destroyed, not removed, correct? Divine.
Yeah, that's just destroy.
Yeah. Go ahead, yep.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if he boarded in the Armageddon, but the
Land
Armageddon
draw.
would definitely be
Yep.
pretty sweet.
And I'll activate my.
Yeah, he's got that opening. He's got that window, so he might as well.
Essentially.
Depending on what he's got in his hand.
Actually, yeah, I'll just pass.
Okay. Untap. Draw. I'll play a Trike.
Another trike. That's trike number 3.
Yeah, trike is fine.
Okay. After Trike, I'll pass to you.
And step disenchant. If he goes Divine Offering, then Angelo should go 2 to him and then 1 to the trike so he doesn't gain the 6.
Sorry, I'm thinking about something.
You got it, man.
Yeah, that sushi was good because of the fact that it came out on turn 2 because of a turn 2 workshop.
Yeah, end of turn. I'll
Disenchant?
attempt to disenchant your trike.
Okay. Oh, Angelo has a counterspell in
I
hand,
have-
I'm sure.
4 remaining.
Can he keep this trike on the table? It is the end step. So if he has mana drain,
and or mana drain in your yard.
I have 2 counter spells, and that's it.
I suppose there's that Rogue Red Blast too in your list. It's a good card.
It is, yeah. It's
Should
true.
not be underestimated.
yeah.
Trike is never long for this world. I'll just shoot for 3.
Sure. 7.
Brings him down to 7.
You're
That's a resolve. Alright, I'm sure Angelo has a counterspell in
Like
his
my
hand.
artifacts aren't gonna last. There's so many different ways for you to destroy them.
Yeah. Draw.
Alright, so that's 3 trikes down. Well, Mike is playing as if he has a counterspell, so if he doesn't have a counterspell after all this, he is definitely bluffing extremely well.
I'm gonna strip your underground sea.
Ooh. Strip mine.
Okay, let's see here. Stripping underground. I guess I'll add a blue to my pool.
Sure. I will just move into combat.
Great. I will Sonic Blast you.
Okay.
Counter, wherever you are.
No, that happens.
Brings him down to 3.
At 3, you're at
17.
That is definitely an interesting dynamic now. Alright, Angelo runs 3 total Psyblast. I don't know if he kept them in or not, but
Sarah?
Yeah, I'll play Sarah. And I'll
Sarah.
take
down
one.
to 2.
I'm at 2.
Sounds good.
Go ahead.
Alright, so I'm assuming that Mike has a counterspell of some sort. Because that is a very risky play
Factory.
otherwise.
I will pass on you. Your go.
Okay, so
Tap.
that City Brass is about to become a liability, but he has Sarah Angel.
Attack for 4.
I'll swords it.
Here he goes.
Hmm.
Wondering now if he's regretting getting rid of the Underground Sea instead of the Tundra.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Brings him up to 6.
I'm at 6.
Yep.
Play an island.
Angelo has a Tundra. He stripped the Underground Sea.
5. I'll take 1. I'll go to 5.
Another Sarah.
Another Sarah.
Cast another Sarah. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The other white Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will swords it.
You have how many cards?
I have 1 card.
1 card. And no way to counter back. So if Mike has a counterspell, this is definitely the right thing to do.
It's gonna mana drain it.
Yeah, you either
Right.
have the counter or you don't, so I got to force to play.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Pass to you.
Draw.
Yep.
So Mike has 1 color that he's got to use.
Mana into a Chaos Orb.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
And yeah, just attack for 4.
No blocks. 13.
I think I will. How many swords are in your graveyard? 2?
2 swords.
Hmm.
One card in hand for
Yeah,
both
okay.
players. Sarah Angel is pretty good.
I will just say go.
Cards in hand.
I have 1.
Underground seat.
Okay.
Pass to you.
Draw. Attack for 4.
No blocks. 9.
This might be.
Play Lotus. Go ahead.
So we have a 3-turn clock. Angelo's only running 1 City and Brass, so he doesn't have really many ways to deal damage to himself. So this is a very, very good
City in a
game.
bottle.
City in a bottle.
Yeah, that happens.
Gets rid of the City of Brass.
Pass to you.
Now Mike's not playing any burn other than the fireballs, and I believe that he spent 1 of them.
Yep, just attack for 4.
No blocks 5.
Go ahead.
Tetravus here is fine because he'll take a hit from the Sarah and then split up the Tetravus into 4 blockers, and then he'll be fine for a number of turns.
Car's name?
2.
Yeah, that. Well, if he casts a trike and then casts a copy artifact, I'm assuming that Chaos Orb is going to kill the other trike. So. Angelo's in the tank now. He's probably thinking about if he has any options right now. Yeah, if you have a Chaos Orb on the table and you don't have to activate it, chances are fairly good that you're winning. Mike might have the Fireball. He already had to use one early for an earlier trike, so he only has one left, and the 2 Fireballs are his only burn.
Copy artifact.
Alright, so
You
this
have
copy
one
is
card in your hand?
probably copying the Chaos Orb.
I'll just
Activate the Chaos Orb in response to kill something.
see here. I'm going to in response. Actually, gonna use.
Over the shoulder trick shot? Yeah. If you copy the factory, it just becomes a land, though. I mean, at that point, you're better off just copying either the Lotus or the Sapphire. Fun fact here, if you copy the City in a Bottle, it gets rid of both of them.
Sorry, just thinking.
No worries, man. I'm not trying to rush you.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna use orb in response.
Okay, I'm going to respond to your orb on the stack.
Okay.
I know a guy who flips his Chaos Orbs like this, up in the air. He stands
Activate a
back,
Metros.
flips it like this. It's unreal.
Right. Let's see. Activate a Mishra's.
Chaos Orb doesn't target.
Respond again. So you can go for the Mishra.
If you copy a City in a Bottle, the new one enters the battlefield as a copy of City in a Bottle. Copyable characteristics include the name, so both of them would go away.
Yeah, you have an opportunity afterwards before your copy resolves. Yes.
Great. So yeah, activated factory.
Just activate a factory.
Yep.
Alright, so he's gonna choose to put another factory on the table more than likely if when this copy artifact resolves, if he activated one. Copying the factory copies all the abilities of the card, but it's as if it's a new factory, so it's not an animated factory.
Interesting.
Yeah, the
Alright,
copy has summoning
I'm
sickness
going-
is
okay,
just a
well,
land
I'll look at
called
flip
Mishra's
result.
Factory.
So I'll flip the chaos orb. I'm gonna try and hit your I guess your your activated factory. The one that's a creature. Is that good?
Yeah, that's the right play.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry. My mic was up. Yes, I'm so sorry. Yes.
Oh no, that's okay.
No, if he hits
That's
the
good.
animated factory, then the copy
Choosing
artifact
Sapphire?
resolves copying
No,
one of the mana
You're
producing
choosing
artifacts.
my active factory, but you're using the sapphire.
I'm using my sapphire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in communication.
Right. So the copy artifact can make a copy of a mana producing
It
artifact.
is.
Get rid of.
And then
right.
before that resolves, I think I'm actually gonna.
Yeah, cracking the lotus is good here. Still in response to the copy artifact. But again, Angelo can make a copy of either the sapphire or the jet, so that he has mana
I'm actually
to
gonna
activate
use
the
my
factory.
Lotus and turn my Mishras into a creature 3 times.
All right, so he can still make a copy of an animated. He can still make a copy of a factory.
Sapphire.
All right, so instead he copies the sapphire.
Pass to you.
Come on. Attack for 4.
No blocks. 1.
Go ahead.
That's the match.
Oh
GG.
man. Yeah.
Wow.
Good games, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel bad that I
Good
I threw
games.
the match in game 2, but that's my own fault. Got to live and learn. That's how that goes.
I didn't notice actually the turn that you didn't attack me.
Yeah, there was a turn with Factory that it did not attack. I was being conservative.
Oh, I see.
And I often tend to be a little conservative when I'm playing a deck like yours.
Mm.
And then I didn't play the less conservative route after that. I actually made the mismatch because I could have had the double Factory, and you'd only have one white source. So you can only deal with one. And I had you with one.
Gotcha.
Gentlemen, that was definitely a good match. Could you guys turn your cameras to your faces?
Oh, sure. You got it.
Yeah, so about 17 people in chat caught that whole thing with the Mishra's Factory that you missed that attack, Angelo.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure they did.
definitely.
That's the reason why you don't have, chat up. I don't want to be seeing mistakes and making
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And there was definitely some good games of Magic. 3 excellent games of Magic, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Mike, that comeback, you had your window in game 2. You took it. You did everything that you needed to do and followed all the lines. And then Angelo, you drew like poop for several turns, just long enough to get Mike back into that game after that factory mishap. And with that mulligan down to 5, still, that was still a hell of a match there for game 3.
Yeah, definitely.
In game 2, I was holding on to double copy artifact with no sources. So if I had held my factories, had held back the factories, it would have been just overwhelming as well. Because I can just activate a factory and make a copy, and then I'd have 3 factories and then a 4th, etc.
Right.
But I didn't play that conservative play. I just said, well, you either have it or you don't. And then the next one, same thing, you either have it or you don't, which a deck like yours often does. So that's pretty commonplace. That's why it's where it is. That's why it's now in the top 4, no doubt.
All right.
I feel good that I put myself in a position to win it. Obviously, bad that I made the mistake to not. But all things told, that decision from my little sideboard at the end I said I was going to talk about was that City of Brass, City in a Bottle, excuse me. Hoping to hit City of Brass and Library, etc. It looks like you probably sideboarded out the dibs. I didn't see them. I don't know. It's questionable.
Yeah.
But I brought back in. I think I brought in a strong number of cards. I took out. I'll show you guys what I brought in.
Sure.
Real quick. I took out a Manipulator, a Trike, a Suchi, Near Universe, the Coffin, Time Walk because of the cantripy effect. Either it's a win more card, and that's an error for me. 1 Side Blast, 1 Copy, and 1 Transmute because I got to make space somehow, right? The cards that I didn't bring in from my board were 1 Bottle, a Tome, and 2 Offerings. I brought in.
Lots of other things.
I went heavy. I brought in more than I took out. So, which probably led to my sub-ideal openers in terms of my land base. But a pair of flash counters, the 3 counter spells, obviously. I didn't see the flash counters much, though, for what it's worth.
I was certainly thinking about them, so whether you have them or not, I have to, like, play around you having that card.
Right. Yeah, it's a good card to have, too.
That's a good thing when it comes to having the open deck list beforehand. It's like there's such a mind game when it comes to playing cards against the main deck and against the sideboard.
Yeah.
And I brought in the other Abyss, so I'm rocking 2. So I think it was 10 in. It must be the 11th card. What's the 11th card? I gotta look at my list, right? The Disenchant, the 4th Disenchant, because you have those factories on the ground and I need to deal with them. So
sure.
Yeah. So it's 11 in, 9 out. So I went heavy 2 at the end there, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the mana base with 27 sources or whatever it is can generally support it. Can't rewind back with those other openers. Obviously, either of them probably could have been good. I tucked a flash counter and a disenchant in my opening hand, and I held the Workshop, the Suchi, the Chaos Orb, the Tundra, and one other card. I was surprised that this is what I ended up tucking, but it seemed to be like I got to put aggro heat on you because if you don't have an answer, it's the game. Presumably you do. Also, the Chaos Orb could be multi-versatile if I feel that your land base is a little weak. My land base was very weak in that game, other than by having the Workshops, but not having the artifacts go with them. It didn't really do much.
Yeah.
Yep.
He
That's
gave
what
us
I got.
some good games. So, Mike, what did you board in and out?
I boarded out for here. I can point my camera down, I guess, actually,
Sure.
because it's still sitting here. One sec. Oops. Trying to get it center of camera. There we go. It's pretty straightforward.
All right.
That's it. The Lions are generally pretty bad. They just die to trike, or get turned off by opposing factories if I can't kill them.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 fireballs, so they're just kind of slow to be able to actually kill a threat in the Shops deck. So
Sure.
I like having the 1 because I can still tutor for it or whatever, and end the game. And they're never like totally dead. And then I'm kind of turning more into a control deck after the sideboard, so I don't really want to draw more than one of these Serendips. One's totally fine, but I don't really want to have 2 in my hand because I'm not going to cast them at the same time as I would in a game in which I have Savannah Lions in my hand and I can be a little more aggressive. So yeah, that's my general plan.
Why no Red Blast?
Well, I don't exactly know how many counter spells you're actually going to bring in, and I'm less worried about countering your Side Blasts or other stuff. Like if I can kill your creatures and you don't have a clock on me, then I'm kind of okay. And the Red Blast doesn't kill your guys.
Sure, it definitely doesn't kill dudes. I'm with you. I would never bring it in over the 3 artifact destruction that you brought in.
Right.
For sure. Cheers.
Yeah, it's definitely, it was like in the small list of cards I was considering. Like I also briefly thought about Armageddon just because, like, depending on how you play, and I'm going to have energy flux, so you can often play in such a way that it's really hard for me to make these effective. So actually, like, turning off your ability to play stuff and killing a couple of Workshops and factories or something was in the back of my mind, but I decided it wasn't worth it.
For sure. No, Flux is one of those cards that it's a hit or miss. And like, if I have one beater that you don't have the answer for, I'll just keep paying for it all day long. You get two
Right.
of them out against me, it can be devastating, but obviously you hit your fast mana a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So, there's not too much against that. I feel really good about that one sitting the bottle choice now, knowing that you still had 7 or 8 good targets for it to hit.
Yeah.
It could be critical against, an early start library, or if your land base is tilted towards your cities, it can make all the difference.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
play to your outs.
Yeah. No, I think City's right. Maybe even the second one. I don't know.
Right.
Well, gentlemen, you put on an excellent show. It looks like we topped out at a high of 57 people who were watching at one point in time. So
Cool.
you gave everybody an excellent show. Got a whole bunch of people congratulating you in chat, Mike.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a well-deserved, hard-fought win. That game 2 comeback was absolutely ridiculous and absolutely amazing. So thank you both. I appreciate you allowing me to stream this match for you guys. Angelo, thank you for everything you've done when it comes to the Northern Paladins, and I will definitely talk to you tomorrow. And then Mike, best of luck in the quarterfinals and the rest of the Derby.
Thanks, Rich.
All right.
And thanks for having us on your stream.
Yeah. Thank you very
Good,
much.
good
I
luck,
appreciate
Mike,
it.
and thank you, Rich.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
Thanks.
Peace.
So, we had an excellent match, everybody. So, I'm hoping that everybody enjoyed that stream because that was absolutely ridiculous. Again, my regularly scheduled stream is Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern. I play 3 rounds of Old School Magic with the Northern Paladins as part of the Tuesday Night Gauntlet. I have a special stream coming up on Saturday where I will be streaming my matches from MobsterCom. The action begins at 10 a.m. Eastern. So, I appreciate everybody who joined the stream tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I'm hoping that all of the top 8 matches are just as awesome as this one was, because this one was amazing to watch. So you guys take care, and I'm going to try to upload this one to YouTube, and I'll make sure that I send out that link, because that second game was one for the ages. All right. So again, thank you all very much. I appreciate everybody who is here for some awesome games of Old School Magic, and you guys all have a wonderful night.